There are some black parents out there that are very afraid to actually teach their black children about their true history because we live in a society where we're integrated and we don't want to offend the people who have absolutely no problem offending us. But if I could suggest a few things, I would suggest having your children learn about their true history at home, because I'm sure if you send them to schools where it's integrated, they're not going to learn their true potential. They're not going to learn their true ingenuity. They're not going to learn to have more confidence in themselves until you teach them about their true lineage. They need to hear stories about Nat Turner. They need to know about Malcolm X. They need to know about Martin Luther King as well if you wish to have that mindset in them. But they need to know about black people. They don't need to just learn that they were slaves and they did nothing in this world. They don't need to know just about Crispus Attucks dying, in the Revolutionary War, being the first casualty, okay? There are other things that black people were doing. We need to learn about the Tuskegee Air. Well, I don't say we, because I know about this, but we need to teach our children at a very early age about the Tuskegee Airmen, okay? We need to teach our children about Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, okay? Even folklore like John Henry. We need to be teaching black children as much as we can about black people. We need to be talking about the black inventors, the ones who created central heating, the ones who created closed caption television, okay? Which is basically, the cameras. That was a black woman that did that. The street light, the stick shift, the first open heart surgery. Not just peanut butter, not just potato chips, okay? 3D graphics, thanks to a black man, okay? We need to be teaching children about the actual black people who invented things and contributed to society, as well as the black people who fought up and stood up against racism and fought for their rights as human beings. And we also need to teach them about black love. When you are a black man and a black woman in a relationship and have a child, of course you're going to argue, but you should be showing yourselves as much love in front of that child as you can. Because that child is looking at you, the woman, his mother, or her mother, as their first role model when it comes to women, period. And the first role model of the man is the father. So that father should be setting a good example to that black girl especially, and that black boy. Because that black girl is going to look at that black man as the example for all black men. And that black boy is going to look at that black man as the example for all black men and know how to act from that black man. And if you're a responsible black man who loves your black women, who's a responsible person who works hard and will protect your family and support your family as much as possible, that young boy is going to look at that and going to emulate that. You think I'm bullshitting with you, you think I'm lying to you, but these children look at you as their examples. If you are getting into heated discussions and, getting into arguments and, degrading black women and degrading black men on each side, you don't think those kids are going to grow up to be thinking the same thing? If my mother is in a bad relationship with a black man and she feels this way about black men, she's always talking about black men this way, you don't think that little black girl is going to start thinking that maybe all black men ain't good? Or if a black man is degrading and talking badly about black women and saying that they're, B's and H's, and I don't want to say the words, but you know what I'm talking about. That little black boy is going to grow up thinking that that's the way that you're supposed to be with black women, and that black women are like that. We have to set the example, and we set the example starting at home. You must teach your children, black people, about their true history. They go to school learning they're a slave. They go to school learning about Martin Luther King. They're not taught about Medgar Evers. They're not taught about Malcolm X. They're not taught about Nat Turner. Okay? We need to be teaching them about the real revolutionaries. If you don't want your child to grow up and be someone that's going to go out there and kill people, I understand that. But that's not what it's about. You're supposed to instill these values into your child's head. White people do that. They instill values into their children's heads, so we should be instilling values into our children's heads as well. Because Black Wall Street had a class of children that grew up smart. They went to school with uniforms on, with briefcases. They were respectful to their elders, and they learned a lot of things. We got a lot of children that have innovation in their minds, just waiting to be, for the potential to be peaked. We got children that open up businesses out here and have like thousands of orders coming in, billions of of revenue coming in every single day from whatever business they decide to start. Whether it be bow ties, whether it be African products, hair care products, children are doing these things just like adults. You know what it's called? Entrepreneurship. If you can get your child to be that smart at an early age and have that particular type of mindset at an early age, 10, 8, 9, 13, and want to be an entrepreneur and start their own business, that helps the Black community. And that gives your child the self-confidence that he or she needs to be the most successful person they can be. And if you teach them self-love, if you teach them to love the Black man, the Black woman, and love themselves, they will grow up loving their people. They won't become a traitor that advocates racism. If you teach them a loving relationship between a Black man and a Black woman, they will emulate that and find a Black woman and a Black man respectively to love. I'm telling you, this is the reality. This is truth right here. This is not my opinion. This is truth. I know it's true because children look up to their parents as their role models for guidance. You want your children to be in a relationship with someone that looks like them? You show them by example. You want your children to have self-love and self-respect for themselves? You teach them about their history, about their true history, not the history that they, meaning the dominant society, want you to know and want you to teach them and wants them to know about. You go one step further than that. You research things online. Get books. They have books everywhere. Learn about the true history of Black people, not just that we were slaves and all this. Because I promise you, a lot of us didn't get that because we were in this mindset of everybody getting along, and I still want to get along with everybody, but it's not happening the way we want it to happen. Many people are just showing us that they don't want to get along with us at all. They hate us. So my mindset now is to work on the children that are coming up. My mindset now is to get them actively learning about their history. Get them going to schools where we have Black men teaching them, Black women teaching them. We have positive role models and images of Black men and Black women in relationships that are working. When they see that Black men and Black women are together, working as a unit, working as a team, they will be on board with you and they will have that mindset throughout their life. They'll be looking for a Black man to marry. They'll be looking for a Black woman to marry. They'll be knowing about how much their lineage means to this world and what they have contributed to this world as a people, as a whole. And they'll want to do the same. They will not be kissing the asses of those people who can't stand them or are laughing behind them, ready to stab them in the back at any given time. This is what you have to do as a Black parent. Even if you are a single mother or single father, you have the responsibility of that child because that child is yours. You have to raise them properly. Too many of us keep raising them with this integrated mindset. Yes, you have to show them that they need to respect other people's religions, cultures, and everything like that. But you also must tell them that they need to be respected as well. You tell them that the N-word is bad. You tell them that they need to stand up for themselves if they're being mistreated because of the color of their skin. You do not make them docile. You do not tell them to keep forgiving people because that's not the way that things are going to work in this world much longer. Because forgiveness is becoming something of the past. And you can forgive someone. I'll put it like this. We can always have forgiveness, but we don't have to forgive people right then and there. We can forgive them behind closed doors. Because we shouldn't have a generation of children growing up docile. We already have enough docile Black people as it is in this community. Thank God we still got fighters in this community as well. But we don't need to be growing, having children that are going to grow up to be weak-minded and just take all the abuse and all the discrimination that we've been taking because we want to fight back. We need to raise revolutionaries. Revolutionaries don't just mean people that are going to raise up with guns, because that's not what I'm talking about. Your greatest weapon is your mind. If you have more knowledge and you know your enemy and you know things, you are a deadly adversary. Trust me on that. We must emphasize education in the black community. Back then, it was the United Negro College Fund. When I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, they used to talk about it on the commercials all the time. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. And it is a terrible thing to waste, because you have a brain, and that brain is supposed to be filled with knowledge. That's why I said it starts at home. You educate them at home. Some parents decide to homeschool their children. That's fine. But at least know what you're talking about when you're teaching them what you want to teach them. Some of these black boys go to trade schools. I know some black men that go to trade schools and learn how to work on cars, learn how to do electrician things and stuff like that, work on TVs and, fix refrigerators. We need to do this for our children so our future can continue, so our legacy can continue, and so the black community can prosper and progress. Some of us still have hope as well. But when it comes to the children, they will suffer if we just allow this gender war to destroy us, to put us at odds with each other. Because, like I said, that black girl is going to look at that black man as her role model for all black men. And if he sees that black man talking bad about black women, calling black women ugly, calling especially dark-skinned women ugly and apes and every other kind of ugly-ass word, she's going to believe that she's ugly. She's going to believe that no black man's going to want her because her black father is talking this way about black women. The same could be said in the reverse of a black woman talking about a black man negatively, and she has a black son. That son will be thinking that he's not good enough for a black woman because my mother says this about black men. Says black men ain't nothing. Black men ain't shit. This and that. So you need to understand that you are affecting children when you are getting into these wars with each other that make no sense. When you are making videos advocating dating white people and people who are not black. Stop allowing the television to babysit your children. You have to take the initiative and spend time with them and raise them properly. Because especially now on television, the propaganda as it is now is at an all-time high. Too many shows showing black women with white men, black men with white women. If they continue to see this, they're going to believe that this is the way it needs to be, and they're going to think that that's the way they need to grow up. Mommy and daddy needs to show black love in the house at all times. Order DVDs of black shows that you used to watch back in the day, or shows that you might have on Netflix, like, or I don't know, Different World, or Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Any kind of show that shows black women and black men together as not only business partners, not only friends, but as lovers, or as black families, like Family Matters. Children need to be seeing that. That's why I grew up with the values that I have now of the black family and loving black women, because when I was growing up, there were many black shows on TV about black families, about black love, living single. You can still find that on Hulu right now. Black children need to grow up with these images so that they will grow up to be black first. And it's not about hatred. It's about loving themselves, because many of us don't love ourselves right now. And it'll be a foolish thing to allow another generation to come along, be weak, docile, and then get into relationships with these people, and then our legacy is wiped out forever. These are just some suggestions I have for you. Let me know your feedback in the comments section. This message had nothing to do with hate. Anybody who says it had something to do with hate is a moron. I love my people. I love black children. I love my community. I love you all. I'll talk to you next time.